The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB TV. Welcome to the Best of Nevada Business.
Small business,
big business,
And
family-owned business.
it's all right here on the Best of Nevada Business. Hi, and welcome to the Best of Nevada Business. I'm Beth Toy, your host, Nevada, the silver state with golden opportunities. And today as my guests, I have two awesome people, Dalal Hicks from Keller Williams. How you doing, baby?
Hi, good. How are you, Beth?
I'm good. And Todd Hernandez from Movement Mortgage.
Thank you, Beth.
And we're going to learn all about what makes them better than any other people in Vegas for their business. So, Dalal, why don't we do ladies first? You're a real estate agent with Keller
am.
Williams.
I am.
And how did you get into this business?
It was always a passion. I was in the medical field for 30 years before
Really?
moving into real estate. So,
Really?
Yeah. And it was the best move I've made.
From medical to real estate.
Yes.
That's kind of cool. And are you much happier here than you were in medical?
Absolutely. Much happier.
Wow. So, see,
Yes.
real estate is a happy business.
It is. It
And
is.
Todd, what got you
Yes.
into mortgages?
Goodness, it was almost 20 years ago. 1997, I believe. October. I go back that far. Can you believe it?
Wow. I moved here in 99, so
Yeah.
you got started just before I showed up in
A
town.
lot of stuff has changed, that's for sure.
I think it has. I think it has. Well, Dalal, let's start with you. You're a real estate broker, and you just do a great job. I happen to know this because I know her personally, but I want you to tell our viewers what, in your opinion, in your own words, what makes you stand out? What makes you like outstanding compared to there's a million brokers in town.
About
Why would-
14,000.
How many?
14,000.
14,000. So what
Uh,
makes you
very
stand out
competitive.
from, it is, what makes you stand out from 14,000 real estate agents? What makes someone want to go to you to buy or sell a home? What do you do differently than everybody else?
Well, there are a lot of good agents. Let me start with that because there are good agents in town. However, I think that I set myself apart from the majority because I not only sell residential real estate, I work with buyers, I work with sellers, I work with investors. I'm an investor. I have a well-rounded education, and I can help pretty much anybody.
Wow.
So, and I was in lending for 4 years. And again, I was in the medical field for 30, so I'm very analytical, so I'm very particular with my clients. I want to make sure that everything is done perfectly.
That's awesome. And you know, there are a lot of, I can guarantee this because some things I've been through, there are a lot of agents out there. If you're not listing your house with them, they don't want to bother with you. They only want the listing so they can put their name on it and then just sit back and wait for somebody to buy it. And I know you are not like that
No, I am not.
whatsoever. And I know you really care about your clients. That's one thing I've noticed about you. that
Absolutely.
You
They
go
come first.
above and beyond.
I'll do whatever it takes
See?
to make sure they're happy, and it's a win-win situation. And I mean, it's and Todd and I have worked together for a while, and he knows I care very much for my clients. Most of my clients are my good friends now.
That's awesome. And Todd,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
do mortgages.
That's correct.
So what makes you stand apart from all the other people that do mortgages?
So that's a great question. The difference between us and, let's just say, your Wells Fargo down the street is that it's more personable dealing with someone like me that's here in Las Vegas versus just someone who's working inside a bank inside. And I say that because we're just doing mortgages there. Whereas Wells
That's
Fargo,
all you do.
that's all we
you
do.
is mortgages,
That's
nothing
all,
else.
That's everything the the company does nothing but mortgages. They don't do any type of investment banking. They don't do any type of checking, savings, anything like that. And that's what, that's what we do best is mortgages. So we're Wells Fargo or your bigger banks, Chase, Bank of America, they don't specialize in mortgage lending. They
And I'm
specialize
sure
in
they
banking.
don't take the time or the personal attention to people.
Absolutely not. When you call in, you're going to be a number. You're going to be
Mhm.
basically somebody who they don't recognize or know their situation. Whereas with myself, I'm going to get to know the person here in Las Vegas. I'm going to get to know who they are and get to know what their situation is, because everybody's situation is never the same.
That's true.
Never
That's
the same.
true.
Always
No
different.
two people have the same situation. No two people are alike. No two people have the same personalities.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I like about my company is that we have a great team in place.
Mhm.
Whereas we're right here in Vegas, I have 2 personal assistants that are assisting me with the transaction, so that way nothing gets missed. And that's
nice.
crucial in the very beginning, because in the first, we have a 10-day process to process. That's our goal as a company, is to process your mortgage in the first 10 days.
Mhm.
Whereas your Bank of America, your Wells Fargo, your U.S. Bank, your Chase, typically their turn times are 45 to 60 days.
Really?
Whereas
I
we're
did
running
not
at
know
10
this.
days right now. And the way we do that is because we have the people in place for each portion of the process of the loan,
Mhm.
where you have the beginning application as one process or one stage, to collecting the documents that we're going to need, your pay stubs, your W-2s, your bank statements, all these important documents. And then you have your verifying these documents.
So it sounds to me like you take a lot of the pain out of the process for the people, because you are right there to do it all.
Absolutely. And we tell you what we need from the very beginning, so that we're not going to be, coming back to you every
So
other
it's
week.
not 3 weeks later. Well, you didn't tell me I needed that. Oh,
No, and
already know.
and that's one of the biggest complaints we get from the consumer right now, is that, hey, I'm not being told what's going on, and they keep coming back to me for more information. They want more documentation from
Yeah.
me.
And that's a shame.
Yes, and that's one thing that I love about the company, is that we pre-underwrite a consumer up front. So when a consumer when Dalal sends a customer over for me to review and to see if we can
Mhm.
get them pre-approved, we will gather up all their documentation right then and there. So we'll say to the consumer, we
Wow,
need this,
that's
this,
nice.
this, and this.
That's really nice.
And then it goes immediately over to the underwriter, and it's underwritten. Right now, our average underwriting time is 6 hours.
Really?
So 6 hours, within 6 hours, you have a full underwriting loan commitment.
Wow.
And that's a difference between us
Right.
and Wells Fargo,
That's a
whereas
stronger offer too.
Wells Fargo is going to take 10, maybe 12, maybe 14 days before they're
Really?
even going to have an underwriter look at the file.
14 days compared to 6 hours.
Yes.
To really get this all together.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. I mean,
It is.
that's truly amazing.
It is.
Wow.
And for me as an agent,
yeah.
if I can go to a seller and say, my buyer is underwritten, strong offer.
Really?
It will beat out any other offer.
I did not know
Mhm.
that. I
And
did not
we're in
know
a market right now where it's a seller's market, and Dalal can relate to this. It's
Absolutely.
you've got buyers that if you're under the average sales price, let's just say 260,
Yeah.
okay, you're going to run into multiple offer situations on a property.
Oh,
And if the
I
seller
see,
says-
because, okay.
If the seller sees that and he says, "Hey, we've got 7 or 8 offers pending right here," they're going to look at all the offers and they're going to say, "Hey, which one do we want? Which one do we like the
Strongest
best? Which one
offer."
is the strongest?"
Mhm.
And they're going to see that most of these are just pre-approval letters, whereas our customer has been actually
So
underwritten.
they're
What,
underwritten.
okay, tell our viewers the difference. A lot of people don't know between a pre-approved letter and underwritten.
Exactly. A pre-approval is basically a loan officer's best guess,
Oh, really?
and it's basically
So if I come into you and say, I need a mortgage, you're just going to talk to me and give it a guess.
yes.
Based
I
on
would
what you say.
Really?
I would take
Well, what if
your
I'm
word for
lying
the,
to you?
Exactly.
Wow.
That-
What if I'm lying?
and then you wouldn't get approved. So that's what happens is we're going to take all the guesswork out of it, because
Mhm.
that's what happens is most of the loan officers and lenders in town will get a referral, and they'll pull the credit and they'll say, okay, how much do you make? And they'll base it off of that, and they'll say, okay, well, based off of that, you're qualified for this. And that's all they're doing right there. That's a pre-approval. Where our loan commitment is taken a step further, and they're saying, hey, let's gather up all their income docs, let's gather their credit, let's run it on Fannie Mae's automated website, let's get an
Mhm.
actual approval, and let's have the underwriter review the documents, verify the documents are true and
So
correct.
They know if I lied. Okay?
Exactly. And that's within the first day, okay? Because when the consumer comes over to us and they say, hey, we want to get pre-approved, I'm going to say, we need all these documents and I need them now. I need them within how quickly can you get these documents to me so I can render a full loan commitment to you? Because if you can, I'll get that to you in the first day.
Wow.
Right.
So if
Right, and-
someone comes to you or comes to buy a house, say that you're selling, if they come in with a pre-approval letter compared to an underwriter document or
Yep, commitment.
how do you say that? Underwriter
A commitment
document,
letter.
a commitment letter, okay. You look at that first?
Absolutely. You know that person's been reviewed by the underwriter, 99.9% sure that person is qualified. On a pre-approval, you
So-
don't know. And
So
sometimes
if
at the
there's
very
two
end,
people that are close in price and you know these people are already secured, they're going to have a better chance.
better chance.
See?
Absolutely. And it doesn't
Did you
mean
know that?
that
I
it-
didn't.
It doesn't have to be a higher offer. It could be a lower offer,
Mm-hmm.
but with a commitment, you know it's a good deal.
I did not know that. See, there's
Yeah.
a lot about this
There's a lot more
that-
than people think.
people think. Really, it is. You know,
Yes.
you go to buy or sell a house. Oh, I'll call an agent, blah, blah, blah. You don't think about everything else that goes into it. Listen, there's a lot of people out there that have never bought a house, have never sold a house. You know, there's younger people that are renting and their parents died. They have to sell that house now. And they have to find people they trust
Right, and they have to interview
to help them.
interview your real estate agents. There's, and what I do is when I meet someone and they want to list their property, I give them a list of questions to ask if they're going to be interviewing other agents.
That is so
There's
nice.
a list of 10 really important questions they should be asking these agents. And, you know, I can actually give you guys a copy if you would like to
Sure.
provide that on the
and,
website.
And before we go any further, give your phone numbers. Just we're going to have all this information, all the contact information at the end of the show. But if somebody's watching right now and says, "I wish I had their number," give
Yeah.
your number.
My number is 702-493-9544. Call me anytime.
And Todd,
702-349-3659 is my cellular number.
Okay.
Best place to reach me by far, and by text as well.
And you were talking, you asked him the question about the difference of
Yeah,
him
yeah.
and other lenders, and he brought up the banks.
yeah.
Well, Todd is available even on the weekends.
See,
And
that
at
is
night
very
and
important.
early in the morning. And so for us as agents and people that are buying, you really want your loan officer to be accessible. You don't want to have to wait until Monday to get an answer.
See, this is true. I just had this experience with a mechanic, as Dalal knows. And, you know, when it's closing time or right after, and your car is dead and you need to text him, you don't expect it to be a day and a half later
Right.
till you get an answer. And this is what's nice about both Dalal and Todd, that if you need them, they're there.
We're available.
And not everybody is.
Absolutely not.
Not everybody
Some
is.
agents do not work weekends. You have to wait until Monday to get an answer on your offers. Very frustrating for the buyers.
That is so nice that you put a list out of questions to ask
Absolutely.
other agents. I really respect that because the last time I moved was 1999. I sold my house in California and I moved here to Vegas. And I did interview like probably 6 agents. I don't remember exactly. And it's kind of funny because anybody out there that's interviewed agents, you know. I mean, one person walked in and said, "Well, how long's it been since you painted this house?" And I said, "Well, let's see. I think it's been like, 5 years." "Oh, you got to paint. You got to paint." And I thought, it looks good. So the next agent that came in said, "How long have you painted this house, since you painted this house?" And I said, "Oh, we just painted it recently." They go, "Yeah, it looks great." And I'm like, what just happened here?
You're smart.
So, yeah.
You pick up on that stuff. Trust me, I know
But-
because Beth is my client.
and we've
And we're
become
great
very
friends.
good friends. We met just as client, as
We
me
did.
being her
We
client,
did.
but we have become really good friends. But yeah, Dalal will be there for you. Todd, I don't know as well. I've just met Todd, but if Dalal says he's good,
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
take
He's
your
the
word
best.
for anything. And I see you have a book here.
I have a few books. I have to educate sellers on when they want to
Hold it
sell
up.
their homes.
We'll put
There's-
this on the website so that you can see it. But for
Yep,
right now,
I have a
we're just
few.
kind of holding it up.
I work with sellers and buyers. So these books right here are help for sellers, how to get the most money out of your home.
Really?
Some
nice.
sellers want to sell on their own.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even provide the book to them. So if they want to do a for sale by owner, I'll provide them
That's
the book
nice.
as well.
That's
help them get the
that is
most money
so
out of
nice.
their homes.
That is so nice.
Yeah, anyone, I can.
Well, what else do you want to tell us about? You know what? Let's do this. You tell our viewers what you like best about the way Dalal works, and then we're going to reverse that.
Okay, well, definitely. Most of Dalal's buyers are serious about actually purchasing a house. First of all, I mean that's where, as a lender, it gets a little frustrating because you want to distinguish between a true buyer and a lead. You know, somebody who's just trying to get qualified. You know, because again, you could spend a lot of time with one person, up to, I don't know, 2 maybe 3 hours.
But
just
if somebody's not going to buy a house, why would they come to you as a mortgage guy
because
and
they
waste
want to
your
know
time?
what they need to do to get themselves prepared for this transaction.
Okay.
Because again, it is going to be the biggest purchase of their life.
And it's
So they
important.
want to know what it's going to take to get their financing in line with their taxes usually, or with their credit scores. You know, most people will think that, you know, their credit isn't so great, when credit is manipulative, because
Really?
it's all, we as mortgage bankers are looking at really your credit score, okay? Because you could have a consumer that had been late on an installment loan a couple times, maybe 90 days, and think that they're really got bad credit because of those lates.
But they don't
But they
necessarily.
don't, because really the scores are up and down based on what you can utilize on your credit. So if you, this is the secret too, by the way.
It's a
We're
secret.
learning
It is,
You're gonna-
it is a
oh,
secret.
the
I'm going to
secret.
let everybody in on the secret on credit and how to get your scores up. It's
Uh-huh.
based on what you have to utilize with credit. So if
Okay.
you have, let's just say you have 4 credit cards, and let's just say they're all, credit limits are $2,000 a piece. Well, that's $8,000 right there, right?
Well,
Well, if you only owe $500 out of that $8,000, your scores are going to be super high, right?
right.
But if you owe $7,500, $7,700 on that $8,000, your scores are going to tank. So what happens is a lot of people are thinking to themselves, okay, I've gone late on my student loans, I've gone late on my car payments a few times in the last couple of years. I got really bad credit. I don't think I can qualify. We pulled our credit, and guess what? It's a 640 credit score.
It's not so
It's not
bad.
so bad. And it's because they've kept those credit card balances usually below 40% of what their limits are.
But if you, no matter what you put on the credit card, if you pay it off every month, you're good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So, but getting
But
back to Dalal,
yes.
you know, getting back to Dalal, her clients are very serious. And when I know that,
That's
I-
because I do an hour and a half interview.
exactly. And we
before
try to,
I bring them over to him. I
that's
screen
smart.
them very well.
That's really smart to
we'll
do
try to
that.
do it together if
Yeah.
our schedules will cooperate with it. But usually, you know, Dalal will say, hey, I've got a customer that's interested. Can you give him a call, give him a ring, set up an appointment, get him into the office, if they prefer to meet me face to face. If they prefer to do online, I also have a website that they can do
Wow.
everything online. So, but getting to Dalal, again, I keep deviating over to the left a little bit.
There's
But
so much to talk about.
Talk about her.
There's
but
so much to
Dalal,
talk
I
about.
mean, again, and that's the thing too, is that her her clients are serious, they're ready to go, and they're going to refer us business after they're done, you know. And that's the other thing too, is that we're not just trying to make that consumer happy with just this one transaction. We're trying to get them happy with all the transactions so that they can refer their friends, family,
Nice.
and relatives over to the two of us.
That's nice.
And we do a fantastic
And that's
job.
how we met, actually.
Really?
Yeah, we met through a client. I had never met him before, and the client was using him, and I couldn't believe he closed the loan in 2 weeks.
Wow. And that's quick?
And
Yes.
that's extremely
That's
fast.
quick.
He's very fast. Sometimes he's way
That's
ahead
cool.
of me because there's things
No,
I
that's
need to
amazing,
do.
seriously.
I need to still do my walkthrough. I'm like, Todd, hold on.
Yeah.
I still have to
Because
do the walkthrough. I
really,
still have all these things I
you
need
don't,
to do.
when you're buying a house, you're selling a house, you don't want things to drag.
No, you
I
do
don't want
not,
things
'cause
to
things
drag. I
happen.
mean, really, you just want it to happen. You know, it's no matter which end you're on, it's a big deal selling a house. It's a big deal buying a house. This is like, you know, a big
It's
thing
a
in
huge
your life.
purchase, and we take it very serious. And my clients, if you were to look up my testimonials, they're all very happy with me. They know that I have their best interest at heart, not
And
mine.
that is a true fact.
And one
That is
thing
true.
that has stood out with Dalal's clients more than anything is the fact that when we get an offer price,
Mhm.
and this is important too, especially in this market that we're in right now.
Yeah.
Again, it's a seller's market where I would say 9 out of the 10 times, 90% of her clients are going to get a house, and their house is going to appraise for more than what they're actually getting. It for.
Really?
And that's crazy in this market
I
that
didn't
we're
know
in.
that. That's
Because again,
interesting.
you got to remember we're in a seller's market. So if she can get a seller to agree to accept an offer for less than appraised value, that's really great. And
Wow.
that's, like I said, that's 90% of our clients. Because I'll get the client appraisal report right back
Mhm.
after we, usually within the first few days, we'll get the
Mhm.
appraisal back, and it'll come back and it'll be
Higher than our offer.
10,
Wow.
15, $20,000
I
more
did not
than
know
what.
that either. That's
So they
interesting.
immediate equity in their properties.
That's cool.
We've even had clients walk away with money in their pocket,
Really?
meaning nothing. They paid pretty much nothing.
What do you mean
um,
they paid nothing?
We utilize the grant program for clients who don't have enough money for the down payment. So there's grant
Oh,
programs.
I didn't.
We have
there,
grant.
I didn't know
oh,
there
yeah,
was
there's-
grant
there's
programs
programs out there to help
to help everybody
Yes.
or everybody.
It's usually
Nevada residents.
It's Nevada residents. It's
See, the best of Nevada business.
we are a approved lender to participate in the program, and
Uh-huh.
Dalal is an approved real estate agent to participate in the program.
Nice.
But what it is it's a down payment assistance program for homeowners who, I guess, need a little bit of assistance for down
Need
payment.
some
Because
help.
again,
That's great.
down payment is when you think about it, the average consumer thinks they need anywhere between
They-
$20,000 to
a lot of people
$40,000
think they
down.
need 20%. Absolutely.
Really?
They don't. 3%.
Right.
There's
Wow.
even programs for 1%.
Right. I mean, we've gotten in getting to Dalal's, where people have walked away with money
Mhm.
in hand. What she means by that is, we may have a situation where the down payment is 3.5%. We get the grant to cover 4% of the down payment. So they pay. The down payment's only 3.5%. So they give 4% for the down payment. The other 0.5% can go towards closing costs. And at that particular situation, Dalal had, and again, this is where
I had a
great
seller
negotiation skills come into play, where she was able to negotiate seller contribution to
Wow.
pay for closing costs. So again, we got the state to pay the down payment, and then we got Dalal to negotiate the closing costs from the seller to pay, so they had literally no money out of pocket.
Now, can any agent do this, or do you have to be either schooled in it or licensed in it, or
They need to be
Do-
schooled in it,
Mhm.
yes, but any agent can do it. It's just a lot of them
don't? See? But
A lot of
they
them
do.
don't.
They do. And before we got, what do we got, John? About 5 minutes before we wind up here? We
Mhm.
do. I could keep talking to you guys all day. This is very
Yeah.
interesting. But Dalal, tell us what you love about working with Todd.
Todd is straight. He's a straight shooter. I like the fact that if I ask him a question, he's going to tell me the truth. Either it's going to work or it's not. There's no in between with him.
Mhm.
He gets the loans done, and he gets them done fast.
That's
And
That's
that,
important.
for me as an agent, that's what we want. We want a lender that can handle that.
that's
And
great.
sometimes we cold call, we call prospective buyers together. We work together. We're very good at working together. He knows me, I know him, and
Mhm.
We may not agree on everything, right, Todd?
Yeah.
And you know,
But we absolutely work very well together.
And you know, I like I said, I've just met Todd, but one thing I know about Dalal, she is not pushy. You know how many agents and mortgage people, everybody, they are so pushy. I mean, when you tell them, no, I don't want to do this, it's like they have earplugs in. You know, I mean, really, have you had that? Anybody? We've got a couple people hanging out in the studio today. Have you had that happen? Yeah. You know, they just like don't listen. And I know these two will listen to you. So in winding up, what do you want to tell our viewers about yourself? And then I'm going to have you do the same thing. What message would you like to leave them with from you?
Well, I feel that if you just give me an opportunity to interview, to list your property, or even help you buy a property, I think you'll be happy. I will work really hard for you, not for me, but for you, and I'll make sure you get the best deal. And I am very ethical, I'm honest, and I'm very loyal. So give me a chance, and you won't be disappointed.
And Todd.
Well, you know, I think you said it right. Where Dalal and I are very low pressure. You know, we've been doing this
That's
for
true.
a very long time, that if you're not interested in getting a house and reaping the reward of appreciation over the next 5 years, I mean, this is the hottest market in Las Vegas, in
Super hot
America,
right now.
really.
Is
in
it
America.
really?
Super hot.
Wow.
There's just not enough building going on. The appreciation levels are so high, you know, and again, it's one of those
Interesting.
things where, again, if we're not pushy by ever, you know, and it's like, if it's not your time and you're not ready to do it, let's tell you what you need to do and
Yeah.
and
We'll
get you in the
ready.
right direction. And if it's next year or 2 years from now, then we'll put you
We're
in that
okay with
direction.
that.
We're okay with
Isn't
that.
that nice?
Absolutely.
That is really nice. Well, I can't thank you enough, Dalal Hicks of Keller Williams and Todd Hernandez of Movement Mortgage. I can't thank the two of you enough for being
Thank
on the
you,
Best
Beth,
of
for
Nevada
having us.
Business.
Thank you. Thank
This
you.
has been awesome, and stay tuned for just a couple of seconds. We're going to have all their contact information up, and please join us again on the Best of Nevada Business. See you soon.
So here's what happens in the old model. You go to your lender, loan officer looks at some version of the package, maybe pulls credit, they issue a pre-approval letter. Really what's happening there is that loan officer is giving you a pre-approval based on their best guess. But the truth is they're not an underwriter. So at least 10, 20% of the time, there's an honest mistake that doesn't get identified until much later in the process. So now the poor realtor's out for 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, however long it takes, looking for a house for the client based on the loan officer's best guess. And finally, once they get into escrow, the lender starts to do their job, springs into action, and starts doing all the heavy lifting. They order the 4506T to make sure the IRS transcripts come in, to make sure the tax returns are legitimate. They finally verify the down payment. They dig into the bank statements. They make sure the wife's not on maternity leave. They make sure the husband's not on disability. The lender, in the old school model, does all of the stuff that burns time. And now, 10 to 17, sometimes 20 days into the process, the underwriter, the person that actually has the authority to approve the loan, finally looks at the loan. What they find? They find the mistakes based on the loan officer's best guess. Anytime realtors have heard the excuses, well, the guidelines change, or yeah, we missed this, you got to put down more money, or let's try another lender and shop this over to another bank. All that really means is the good intentioned loan officer made a mistake that's now been caught by the underwriter. Now you have anywhere from 10 days to 2 weeks to 2 months where everything has to be restructured and reworked because of the fact that the loan officer made an honest mistake, and you do not have a referable experience at the end of the transaction because the client is frustrated. The client did not get served. Fast forward to Movement Mortgage, founded in 2008, completely re-engineered the process and wanted to do things differently. What we do, we still do our pre-approval. We want to be engaged with the client and tell the client and the realtor, hey, more or less, you're approved up to $500,000 with 10% down. However, why stop there? In our system, we want to send the file directly to underwriting today. And what that means with Movement Mortgage's process is we will get the underwriting back, usually in 6 hours or less, And before the realtor even potentially meets with the client to start talking about neighborhoods or much less driving them around to look at houses, we're going to have a fully underwritten loan. And I love it because we don't stop there. Our processors are amazing. They go to work and they have what's called a 7-day process. And they are bonused based on how quickly they can process a file. If they close the file out in 5 days, great, they get double their bonus. If they close the file out in 7 days, they get their bonus. And if they miss a closing date, they start to lose bonus on that file and potentially other files. So our processors are highly motivated to get the job done. So now what do you have? You have a file that's been fully underwritten. You have a file that's been fully processed, and before the realtor even starts to make offers for the client, we have a completely approved loan signed, sealed, and delivered. It's a better system. It's a better way to service our client because everything that is normally done in the old school process has been done upfront by Movement Mortgage, our underwriters, and our processors.